Salute champions, welcome to another PvP guide. I'll talk about the talents, I'll show you which gear I think is the best and the stats you should go for. I'll show you the best enchants to put on your gear, the best gems. I'll show you how to do the normal rotation, the burst rotation, and at the end I'll show you the best patch for PvP. In general, it's a really easy talent tree and I would rarely change anything about what you see right here. I'll explain which talents you can swap out necessarily, or if you feel like you need to. There are a few flexibility talents in here too. You really want to go down into Raw Sacrifice. It's a nice ability to have. It can make you or a friendly target immune to critical strikes. So it's an extra defensive to have. Really nice. But you have to be able to read what's going to happen. For example, if you face off against a rogue, it's really good if you can time it before the rogue stuns you. And kind of like experience will tell you when to press it. It will come by just playing the game. If you combine this, for example, with Survive the Fittest, it makes you really tanky. You really want to put those in there to get another extra charge of it. And here at the end, you really want to go with a high explosive trap. It's just another extra tool to get pesky melees off of you. What you want to go for if you're fighting more against like more than one enemy is of course a tranquilizer and disruptive rounds. Coda Tranquilizer makes it kind of mandatory to press your tranquilizing shot a lot, maybe even when it comes off cooldown, because it can purge off extra magical effects from enemies near your main target. By doing so with disruptive rounds, you also get 10 focus back. Binding shot is mandatory. Dark coated bindings I think is mandatory too, because it increases the stun duration of binding shot. I also like to go with keen eyesight, put 2 points in it to just increase your critical strike rating. And if you combine that one later on with Thrill of the Hunt, yeah, you can get quite a bit of critical strike rating. So what are the flexibility points in my opinion? I think it's this one right here, Binding Shackles. I like to use this one for whenever I cast one of my abilities like Binding Shot, High Explosive Trap, or Encapsulate enemies, or Scatter Shot them. After they come out of that, for 8 seconds they'll deal 10% less damage to you. Doesn't seem like a lot, but if you combine that, for example, with Survive the Fittest, you go from 30% damage reduction to 40%. A lot of people also want to go with Scrappy to reduce the cooldown of Binding Shot and Intimidation. You can do that. You can even put it in the Trailblazer, which makes it kind of easy. For example, if you need to run away, it makes it harder for the enemies to catch up with you. If you use it with Disengage and at the same time with Master's Call, means you can guarantee get away unless they stun you, for example, Fear. You can also put it into Emergency Salve, which makes sure when you have your Find Death or cast Aspect of the Turtle, it removes poisons and disease effects from you. Can be a lifesaver as well, or an extra defensive layer. But then again, there are not too many classes that I've experienced that apply poisons and diseases on you. Rogues, Death Knights, for example. This one is really situational. And I think in general you get more use out of Binding Shackles to give you an extra 10% damage reduction. It works against every class. But if you feel like your pet gets killed a lot, what a lot of people also do is to put 1 point into Wilderness Medicine. So if you go to the right side of the Hunter tree, the Beast Mastery tree, this setup I would never change. Just don't do it. The thing with this one is you want your pet to do as much damage as possible. You want to pick up Thrill of the Hunt, which can give you a lot of critical strike chance. If you combine it with Keen Eyesight, if you can keep this one up, there's already 10% extra critical strike. War Order is really important. You go down a tree here with Dire Beast. You'll be casting a lot of kill commands, and you'll have some talents down here that have the chance when you kill a command that will spawn a Dire Beast. It also gives you extra haste, 5%, which is nice. So if you don't have high amounts of haste, you can kind of get a Focus Staff, which makes your rotation can feel clunky. Here you have like Kill Command has a 30% chance to summon a Dire Beast. Hunt's Master Call is also a really nice one to get. Dire Frenzy, make sure your Dire Beast lasts longer and deals more damage. Basilisk Skull is one that's nice to have because you're putting some dots on your enemies as well with, for example, Barb Shot, Serpent Sting. And this one will make sure for every effect they'll deal 4% extra damage. In the middle you want to go with Bestial Wrath and Barb Wrath. Make sure whenever you cast Barb Shot, which you will do a lot to keep up Thrill of the Hunt, it will reduce the cooldown of Bestial Wrath so you can cast it off more frequently, and that means more damage. Down here you want to go eventually to Blood Frenzy, so whenever Call of the Wild is active, your pets have the effect of Beast Cleave, so AoE, and they will also stomp whenever a pet is being spawned. Here we have the ability Call of the Wild, 2-minute cooldown. It summons a pet every 4 seconds. Every 4 seconds all of your pets will stomp, which will do physical damage. When it summons that pet, the cooldown of Barb Shot and Kill Command are reduced by 50%. And remember, you want to cast as much Kill Commands as possible because that's where a lot of your damage will come from. Here when people get low, below 35%, it kind of turns into an execute ability, like Kill Command will do even more damage. Murder of Crows is nice as well. You don't have to worry about it at all, and adds a lot of damage. Here we have Stomp, so that's the ability, like whenever you cast a Barb Shot, your pets will stomp. What What is nice here, for example, we have these talents right here, those 3. This one is nice because your auto attacks have a 50% chance to also fire Cobra Shot. That means you don't have to press a global. And also, what is nice about this one, Serpentine Rhythm, whenever you cast Cobra Shot, it increases the damage of Cobra Shot by 25%, stacking it 4 times. Upon reaching the 4th stack, the bonus is removed and all your pets will gain 8% increased damage for 8 seconds. And this one's nice in combination with Snakeskin Quiver, because that will make sure you sometimes get free Cobra Shots. And that means you can keep that 8% increased pet damage buff up longer or more frequently. Savage is nice because kill command damage again is increased by 10% and also make sure your barb shot lasts 2 seconds longer. So this one makes it easier to maintain the barb shot buff on your target. Of course, in the middle go with the Dark Ranger. This build is just a really good all-around build. You never have to touch anything or change anything. For the PvP talents you have some options. One that I think that has to be locked in is Survival Tactics, which means feign death, reduce damage taken by 90% for 2 seconds, which I think is an absolute must. This one is one I like to play with, the Diamond Eyes, so victims with Freezing Trap can no longer be damaged or healed. Freezing Trap is now undispellable, but has a 5-second duration. It can be dispelled if someone uses that trinket, right? However, the thing is with Beast Mastery Hunter, you do a lot of AoE damage, and sometimes pets do AoE near a target that is trapped and you don't have Diamond Eyes. That AoE will break the trap, and that's, yeah, it's something you don't want. The third one is flexible in my opinion. I like to go with Kindred Beast because it reduces the unique pet ability by 50% and gains additional effects. Instead of Kindred Beast, they also sometimes run with Chimeral Sting. Chimeral Sting is nice, for example, to lock down a melee by a massive 90% slow for the first 3 seconds, but the main thing you do it for is the Spider Venom, which makes sure after 3 seconds there's silence for 3 seconds. So it's really nice to put some pressure on healers. Final 3 seconds will be a 20% reduced damage and healing. That's about it for the talents, guys. I think we can go to the next part. Let's go. So I'll tell you what is most important. Of course, number 1 is agility. The more agility, the higher your damage is in general. After agility, you want to go to versatility and kind of want to aim it to get it roughly around 20%. After you've reached 20% on versatility, I would advise to switch to haste. Because if you don't have haste, it will make it feel really slow and sometimes clunky. So I would say bring haste to around 20%. After that, you can stack some mastery in there. And if you have some good amount of mastery and you don't know what to spend it further on, you can spend it on versatility again to get it over 25%. And after that, you can bring haste also over like roughly 22%. And the stat that is the least favorable for Beast Mastery Hunter is Critical Strike. So now that we have the stat priority, I'll show you which gear I would go for. I have some recommendations for you all. It's a mixture of crafted gear and conquest gear. For the head slot, I would go for the Lightless Scavenger Skull, which is a conquest item. Turn that one into a tier set and make it Haste Mastery. For the next slot, I would go for the Algari Competitor's Amulet, which is a crafted amulet as well, and put haste and versatility on that one. The shoulder slot, I would go with the Lightless Scavenger's Taxidermity. It's a conquest piece, make it into a tier set with the stats Mastery, Versatility. The back slot, I would go with the Forced Gladiator's Drapes, which is a conquest piece, put Mastery and Versatility on it. For the chest slot, I would go with the Forced Gladiator's Chain Tunic, which is another conquest set that comes with Mastery and Versatility. The wrist slot, I would go for the Forced Gladiator's Chain Braces. Another conquest piece comes with Haste Versatility. The hand slot, I would go with the Lightless Scavenger's Mitts. Another piece of conquest gear. And you have to turn it into a tier set and we'll put crit versatility on it. The belt slot, I would go with the Forced Gladiator's Chain Belt. It's a conquest piece that comes with haste and versatility. The leg slot, I would go with the Lightless Scavenger Stalkings. That one you have to turn it into a tier set as well. It's a conquest piece and it comes with crit versatility. For the feet slot, go with the Forced Gladiator's Chain Boots, a conquest piece that comes with haste and versatility. For the rings, here's the thing with rings. I think I would go with 2 crafted ones. Ring slot 1, I would go with the Algari Competitor's Signet, which is a crafted one. You put the embellishment elemental focusing lens on there and also the stats haste versatility. The second ring will be the same. It's another Algari Competitor Signet, a crafted ring. You also put the embellishment elemental focusing lens on that one. Put mastery and versatility on it. For the trinkets, it really depends on if you're playing a human or not. For everyone who's not playing a human, go with the Force Gladiator's Medallion and the Force Gladiator's Insignia of Alacrity. If you are playing a human, you don't need a Freedom Trinket, so then you can go with a Force Gladiator's Badge of Ferocity and a Force Gladiator's Insignia of Alacrity. Also for the main hand, because we want some extra haste, the Force Gladiator's Bow, which is another conquest piece. That's your gear, and also what is really important with gear is, of course, which enchants will you run on it. Let's go. For the boots, you want to go with the enchant boots of the Scout's March. For the braces, go with the enchant bracer Enchant of Armored Speed. For the cloak, get the Enchant Cloak Enchant of Burrowing Rapidity. For the chest, you'll go with the Storm Rider's Agility. For the legs, put a Stormbound Armor Kit on it. For both rings, go with a Cursed Mastery. If you feel like you need more haste instead of mastery, you can also start with a Cursed Haste. And for the weapon enchant, go with the Authority of Radiant Power. That's it about enchants, really easy. I'll also put it down in the description for you all to read. Let's go to the gems. With all the embellishments, they only work if you put like a socket into your armor. I will put one Enduring Bloodstone as a gem in my armor, which gives primary stat and also make sure you'll get 5% damage reduction whenever you are affected by crowd control. So make sure whenever you're stunned or whatever, harder for the enemy to kill you. Absolute must. Everything else, I would go with the Quick Onyx. It gives mastery and haste, which are really important stats. And I think a little bonus I'll do after this one, which I didn't mention in the introduction. I'll also quickly talk about consumables. So I'll see you there. Alchemy goods, flask and potions, and we have some cooking items as well. So let's start with the flask. I would go with the flask with Alchemical Chaos, which increases a secondary stat at the cost of 2 older secondary stats. The cost of the other one is like significantly less than what you'll gain, and these effects are randomized again every 30 seconds. This one's really nice, gives you the highest DPS. For potions, I would go with the Tempered Potion. It will increase all the secondary stats by 2617 for 30 seconds. You'll gain the effect of all inactive tempered flasks. So, for example, if your flask will give you, I don't know, critical strike, for example, the Tempered Potion will not give you critical strike, but another stat. That's kind of how it works. Also have some cooking items which are also useful. You kind of have a few of them. You have, for example, Outsider's Provisions, Battler's Bounty, Jester's Board, or Emperor's Farewell. They all do kind of the same. It will give you well fed and gain 470 of your highest secondary stat for 1 hour. What you can also do, if you have some money, if that's not a problem, and you want some extra damage, you can also get like augmentation runes to put on your weapon. For Beast Mastery Hunters, you would go with the Crystallized Augmentation rune, which increases your primary stat by 733 for 1 hour. Yeah, I think now it's time to talk about the normal rotation. So the first important thing is you want to maintain 3 stacks of Frenzy by using Barbed Shot. Well, make sure your pets will attack faster. And of course with Thrill of the Hunt you get that increased critical strike chance. So that's kind of like a buff you want to maintain on yourself the whole time. Use Black Arrow whenever available. Use Kill Command if it's about to reach 2 charges, so you don't want to overcap on kill commands. Just if you're about to reach 2 caps, spam 1. Use Dire Beast when it comes off cooldown as well. But be sure to not use it during Bestial Wrath. But I'll explain about that in the burst rotation later. And yeah, again, Kill Command on cooldown. Barb Shot kinda on cooldown as well. But you have to be careful like to not over spam it. Because a bad thing is like when the Thrill of the Hunt stack falls off, that's bad. So sometimes it's best to wait a little before casting a Barb Shot again. So you can get the maintain the Thrill of the Hunt buff as best as you can. And if nothing else is available, then it's the time to use Cobra Shot. Like Cobra Shot for Beastmaster is kind of like your filler. And that's about it for the normal rotation. It's pretty easy. I'll put it down in the description. And I'll just show you on the target dummy kind of how it looks. So let's go. Let's just do the normal rotation. So let's go. And now it's back to the Black Arrow, Kill Command, Cobra Shot. Cobra Shot, I can't do anything. Kill Command, we'll go back to our Barbed Shot. Black Arrow, there we go, Kill Command. And that's in general how you do the rotation as Beastmaster Hunter. Pretty simple as well, does a lot of damage, all on the move. Yeah. For the burst rotation, a little bit more things to do, but yeah, I'll guide you through it. I'll also put it here on the screen and also down in the description so you can watch it back later. And so with bursting, a quick tip, like before entering a big fight, I like to have a frenzy pad up with the mortal wounds. And what I will do, for example, in arenas when the gate opens, for example, or in a battleground, before you enter a big, massive fight, what you would do, you would dismiss the frenzy pad, and when the dismiss ability has 1 second left to be casted, you quickly press Primal Rage. So then everyone can still get that big haste buff, your pet will be dismissed, and then you summon your main pet. After that, the best situation if you already have 2 stacks of Thrill of the Hunt by using Barb Shot. You want to cast Hunter's Mark on your kill target, start off with a Black Arrow, followed by a Dire Beast, use Bestial Wrath, then Barb Shot, then 1 charge of Kill Command, and then Call of the Wild. Because Call of the Wild reduces the cooldown of Barb Shot and Kill Command by 50%, so you get it back pretty quickly. And then after the Call of the Wild, you switch back to your normal rotation, your normal priority system for Beastmaster Hunter. So yeah, let's go to a target dummy and I'll show you. So before entering the fight, we want to dismiss our Frenzy pet and using Primal Rage, then summon our main pet. The best situation would be before you burst, you already have some stacks of Threat of the Hunt. But yeah, let's assume you not have, then we'll follow this rotation. I'll leave it down in the description, you can just follow along. And also I'll do a slow-mo replay of the actual burst. I'm gonna press Primal Rage right before it goes away. There we go, summon the main pet. And let's do our burst. There we go. Hunter's Mark, let's go guys. As you can see, all the abilities are shown right there. There we go, normal rotation, Kill Command. It's like pretty fast still though. You can do your full burst rotation on the move. You can keep moving, especially with this pet right here. It's really hard for people to lock you down. So yeah. So here you're thinking, what is a Beastmaster Hunter guide without talking about actual pets? Well, you're at the right place. We're gonna talk about it right here. As you can see on the screen, I have a few pets that are my favorite, but I think the bread and butter for every Beastmaster Hunter in PvP has to be a cunning pet with the mortal wounds effect. In this case, I really like an undead raptor because it looks cool, looks menacing, and it gives you a Master's Call, which can get you out of roots and slows, so that makes it really hard for people to lock you down. Savage Rant to reduce the healing on an enemy is an absolute must in PvP. Pathfinding is nice, increases your movement speed. I think in PvP it's not 12 but 8%. But still, movement speed is really great for Beastmaster to just run away and still do a shit ton of damage. One thing to note though, for example, undead pets can be stunned by paladins when they, for example, use Wake of Ashes, which they have like a 30-second cooldown, I think. If you fight against a paladin, you might not want to have an undead raptor, but switch to a normal raptor. The undead raptor is great because it can't be feared, but it can be stunned, for example, by paladins, so beware of that. Apart from that, you can't go wrong with a cunning pet with a mortal wounds. You can't go wrong with it. It's the bread and butter of PvP pets in my opinion. Another great one, for example, is a Ferocity pet. I like this Fire Scorpion because the Ferocity pet gives you Primal Rage, and as I showed in the burst rotation, you can up everyone's haste with it. It's kind of like a lust or heroism ability. This one comes also with a mortal wounds effect, so it's also really great. And it gives you some extra leads with Predators first. Usually only use at the beginning of a fight, and then I'll quickly dismiss it. And then I go back to probably my Cunning pet. Or another great one is a Tenacity pet with Mortal Wounds. I like this Dire Horn, it looks really great. As you can see here with this ability, it gives a Mortal Wounds effect. What is great about this one is Endurance training increases your maximum health and Fortitude of the Bear. This one I would use when I suspect to be the kill target. This pet will make you more tankier because you can combine Fortitude of the Bear with your acceleration heal, for example, to make the acceleration heal a bigger heal in that sense. And of course, only by increasing your health pool already makes all your heals stronger. Really great pet. And I think one other pet that I think is optional that I don't have currently yet, but I need to unlock, is a Feathermane. A Feathermane is a Tenacity pet, but doesn't have a mortal wounds. So you would ask, Dirk, why would you advise that one, right? It is great for everyone who does world PvP, but it is very situational. Because that is a Tenacity pet, so yes, makes you tankier, doesn't have a mortal wounds effect, which kind of sucks, but it gives you updraft. So what that does, if you press that updraft ability from the pet, it will give you a slow fall. So it's great, like for example, if you're doing some platforming, you want to just juke some people or flee away and you don't have a Goblin Glider, for example, you can use updraft and you'll be slowly gliding down as well. It's a kind of like a niche situational one, but for world PvP can be absolutely fun. Where you can find a lot of information about all the pets in World of Warcraft and the families and like what abilities they have. It's a website called Petopia. It's one that I really use frequently. Leave that link to that site down into the description, so go check it out. It's the best hunter's friend. And also in the top corner, I'll link a video of mine where I talk about the top PvP pets out there and where you can get them, how to tame it. and what the benefits are. So I'll leave it in the corner of the video as a linked video, and also in the description of this video's description as well. Well, kind of confusing, Dirk.
Yeah, what is that?
So that will be it, soldiers, for this PvP guide on Beastmaster Hunter. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to leave a like. Check out my channel, YouTube at Commander. Hey, and maybe even subscribe to the channel as well if you want to see more future guides and some other content from PvP. And I'll see you in the next battle. Salute!